I certainly didn't start out thinking I would be God's hands and feet, an evangelist proclaiming the good news. In fact, even though I grew up in a strong Christian family with a father who was a lay pastor, I confess I was among those teenagers who shunned the God Squad in school for a time. I wanted to be cool, and talking about your faith to other teens wasn't considered cool at all. I had to get comfortable with myself and my beliefs before I could ever be comfortable and effective in sharing my faith with other people. Even after I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I wasn't inclined to go forth and save the rest of the world at first. I wanted to be a professional soccer player, but I am built so low to the ground, league officials ruled no one would be able to stop me. So I had to pursue a different career just to keep it fair for the other blokes. Once playing for Manchester United was ruled out, I wasn't sure what to do with myself. My dad, the lay pastor, thought I'd be much better off as an accountant, and for lack of other options, I went along with that. I never considered that my faith would become a career because it was such a personal and intimate aspect of my life. Our family church was the Apostolic Christian Church of the Nazarene in Keilor Downs in the state of Victoria. My memories of going there are mostly focused on being with my parents and my brother and sister and all my aunts, uncles, and cousins. Worship was a very social experience for me. My father sang tenor and my uncle Ivan sang bass in the church choir. As founding pastors of the congregation, they'd sit in the front row with the other choir members. I joined them as the unofficial percussionist. I kept the beat by tapping my little foot on a hymnal book, which substituted for a drum. Later, they bought me a drum machine and eventually a keyboard I could play with my foot. I loved music, and it was one of my favorite parts of church. I associated God with everything I loved. My father always talked about God on a very personal level, and I picked up on that. I conversed with God all the time, it seemed. He was very real to me, like a member of the family or a good friend. I felt like he knew everything about me and I could talk to him about everything. He was real to me and always there for me. God wasn't a father figure or a vengeful power. He was more like an older, wiser mentor and friend. I prayed every night, but I didn't think of myself as religious. I didn't dream of being a pastor. Our family just lived in faith. To me, being Christian was like being Serbian or Australian. I didn't think there was anything special about it, and I certainly didn't feel I was holier than anyone else. I felt guilty for years because I had unholy thoughts when our family friends, Victor and Elsie Schlatter, gave a slideshow presentation on their missionary work in the wilds of New Guinea. They had translated the Bible into Pidgin English for the natives there, and they had recruited hundreds of them to Christianity. It was hard to believe that there were people who had never heard about Jesus Christ. I assumed he was known about by all. I confess, though, that what left the biggest impression on me from their slideshow were the photos of naked New Guinea women. That probably wasn't what they'd hoped I'd remember about their presentation, but hey, I was just a boy being a boy. I was easily distracted, especially by Miss Isabel, our Sunday school teacher. She had short blonde hair, big blue eyes, and an engaging smile. I thought she was really pretty. I had a crush on her. I was no saint, believe me. I got in trouble more than a few times for chewing gum in church, and one Sunday I choked on a piece of candy just before the service started. Since we were seated in front, the entire congregation saw my dad grab me, turn me upside down, and slap me on the back to dislodge the candy.